Hello, welcome back to our Geneforge 2 Infestation playthrough. This is episode 12. And before we really get into it today, I'd like to do a shout out of another channel. I started watching a Geneforge 2 playthrough of the original Geneforge 2 on a channel called Idle Wisdom. Watching his playthrough of the original game. You can go there and watch to see some of the differences between the remastered version and the old version. But a couple of things that I learned that I had accidentally missed in this playthrough from watching is we missed talking to a couple of people. Uh, there is somewhere around here the guard captain that we spoke to, I believe. They may have, that's the thing, they may have changed everything that is going on here. Maybe he's in this. Just double check downstairs here. Get a door we can open. Ooh. Still too difficult, right? Keep an eye on that. Remember it. Where is the captain of the guard? No, he's around here somewhere. Maybe he went into the Warrens. We'll go check. Tell me about Zachary. Okay, just regular guard talk. Yeah, we'll check the Warrens for him. But then, so we neglected to talk to the head of the guards again. And then we also didn't even think to talk to Zachary by ourselves after what's his name left, or after Shanti left. You return to Shaper Zachary, still sitting limply on his throne. Up close, he looks even older and more infirm. His time in Dry Peak Mountains has exacted a horrible price on him. However, it is always deadly to underestimate a Shaper. This man contains great power. Even if he didn't, he is surrounded by powerful guards. He waves you forward with a trembling hand. Greetings, Apprentice Aaliyah. I am sure most of my business is with your master. However, if there are any little questions you want to ask, I wish to be nothing but helpful. What was on the scroll Shanti brought you? He removes the now wadded up piece of paper from the pouch and hands it to you. There is nothing surprising. The paper simply identifies who you are and what your purpose here is. Get a report on the colony, question Zachary and Barzal. Can you tell me how you came to Dry Peak? It was 10 years ago. Shaper Barzal and I were looking for a failing colony to restore, a way to establish our fame. We were ambitious. We thought we could use our skills to create new, successful life forms and make these peaks productive. We thought we could do what others couldn't. I was aging, and I was eager to gain the acclaim I had failed to achieve earlier. We failed here too. That's really the only story for you to take home. What did you do when you were young? He looks away. I led a life that was productive but not distinctive. I did what I could for the other Shapers when they noticed me. I've only been here for 10 years. This is a harsh place. It was barren when Shapers first came here. Centuries of failed Shaper experiments and malformed life forms being released into the world only made it worse. Where were you and Barzal before you came here? For some reason, this question catches Zachary off guard. He looks at you, trying to figure out what you know. Then he says simply, "We lived the lives of traveling shapers without post or renown. We explored, hunted rogues, agent work, I know, but we were needed. More than that, I choose not to say." That lack of success. we. Well, this might make him angry, but this is sort of like putting him down pretty hard. We're gonna do it. The lack of success lasted for some years. He nods. Sadly so. This seemed like the last place where we could, at least, find the success that had invaded us for so many years. Alright, let's see. Telling you, no, it has been a hard time here. I have said what I was obligated to. I will say more to your master. Are we almost done? I have actual work to do. Alright. Our orders are to meet both you and Shipper Barzal. Barzal is dead. As you speak, he has tea and snacks brought from the kitchen for you. The little sandwiches have bits of sand in them. Ew. Yes, we left town to perform some experiments a safe distance away. One went wrong. He was killed by a Thad. If it was possible for you to speak with him, believe me, you would. But it isn't. That is that. Alright, where's the body? Eaten. The failed experiment involved modifying a Thad. We tried to make a stronger laborer. Barzal took it into the waste to the west. The creature went mad and struck Barzal down, then dragged him off. Probably ate him. Mere Thad killed a guardian? We assume so. We found the site of the battle, signs of combat, torn clothing, blood. It was the only possible conclusion. A pathetic end, I admit. Barzal, like me, was far past his prime. Wouldn't it have been safer to perform the experiment here? Isn't that what this hall was made for in the first place? Zachary's very annoyed. Perhaps an apprentice, such as yourself, should not question the wisdom of a full shaper. You have a lot to learn. You noticed that this was not actually an answer to the question. Alright, tell me about the rogues that are attacking. He's like, don't question our bad judgment. A minor concern. There are a handful of rogues, probably wandered down from the higher valleys. We will handle them with ease. This region tends to make creations go rogue easily. The environment is hostile and it upsets them. It is troublesome, especially when it happens to our serviles. We try to deal with rogues quickly and decisively. We're going to pause right there and talk about his answer. So, Barzal's body was never found. There was a site of a battle. And they assumed he was dead. There's no body. So he's making a lot of assumptions and telling a story with a non-obvious conclusion. It doesn't seem like he would make a good researcher. Alright, how are rogues dealt with? Destruction, of course. That is the only proper fate for a rogue. I've seen quite a few rogues. Surely it is not a small problem. I can see why they would bother an apprentice like yourself. This disturbance is a minor one. We will dispatch these pests in no time at all. You will learn not to be troubled by rogues. With age comes wisdom. Right, when your serviles have problems, how do you deal with them? How do you deal with any rogue? When servile becomes erratic, it is punished. When it goes fully rogue, it is destroyed. Do not let yourself become too attached to serviles. It is a bad habit shapers sometimes pick up. Right? Is it possible to restore a rogue creation? It is possible sometimes, very rarely for the most powerful and dominant of shapers. The penalty for failure is death and destruction. Centuries of experience shaping has taught us that the hard path is the best for all. Don't we have some responsibility to our creations? It is wrong to be kind when the kindness results in the death of an innocent. Not a terrible bit of philosophy. Every shaper is allowed to voice such sentiments. A few times, when young, such ideas are best left to youth, or you may find your career as a shaper to be short and unproductive. Right, do you have another question? No, alright. Any supplies or training you can provide me with? It is of course my responsibility to provide you with lodging. You will find quarters for you by the south road of Dry Peak. However, we have no extra supplies to provide. This is a poor colony, and the rogue attacks have sapped our resources. I thought you said they were barely an issue. Sure you understand. Yeah, you kinda double speaking on us. As for training, locate Toyale. He is a shaper deeper in the... I'm not sure. these made-up names, very difficult to figure out how to pronounce properly sometimes. So don't, give me a phonetic reading of this in the comments. Tell me how it should be said. He is a shaper deeper in the war, and he can provide you with training. You can also get supplies from Jess, who works in the tool breeding hall. Alright. So there we learned some interesting facts from our host here. Also, we have enough money, I think, for a little more training. Can you give me some training? I want to learn new spells. Oh, right. We can't improve any of these because improving is weapon shaping or missile attack. Oh. So your missile attack can give you guardian push. I think that's something we're gonna do. We're gonna like shoot enemies and push them further away and then do it again. They run towards us like any melee units. Alright, we are missing... I can't seem to locate the guard captain. This is just that entrance hall. Alright, let's go back out and see. We'll try one more time to find... Oh, maybe he went out to the gates. Maybe not though, because nobody's out here. Did they come out and guard the gates? Kind of crumbling. Yeah, I don't think anybody's out here guarding. Be interesting if they were though. Yep, nobody's out guarding the gates, even though they should be. Alright. We'll find him eventually. I'm sure he's around somewhere. But he actually has a quest for us, which is one of the reasons we're looking for him. It's one of those things where you have an interaction with someone and you don't expect to have a second interaction with them necessarily. Alright, let's close the door. This is private conversation. We've been able to sneak out and do any investigating. What can we do then? Concerned, I have another question. Alright, I will investigate the region. Oh, nothing to add right now. Alright, I thought maybe with our discussion with Barzal, or I mean with Zachary, we would be able to... Do we have anything? Yeah, I want to take these back out. And the shaper equipment. The bread can go in here. Maybe the shaper equipment will be useful for someone else later. Put these on the ground. That's it for now. Alright, let's go turn in all our stuff. Keep an eye out for the head guard. Wait. Oh, hold it. What's this? Oh, we have missed a secret entrance to an underground cellar. Well. Huh. Alright, we kind of messed up there. Some nice weak rats. Oh, we could have gone around. Thorn baton and a bedroll. Alright, regular thorn baton can go in there. Is it all down here? Kind of a disappointing. Nothing useful on the ground. Yeah. Alright. This is just sort of like the entrance to underground cistern. Oh, we had a thorn baton. Ah, there's Takena. Walked right past him. Alright. Meet Takena again. He's captain in the guard of Dry Peak, and he held the post for a very long time. His armor and cloak are old. Bits of sand of the mountains shake out of his garb whenever he moves. When you approach, he bows. Hello again, Shaper Elia. I apologize for the misunderstanding when you entered town. If you knew of the troubles we have been having, you would understand my fears. Alright, tell me of the troubles you've been having lately. Started about 6 months ago. Rogues started to appear around our village. A few at first, then more. Then somehow they infiltrated the mines, killing the servile miners. The mine had to be closed. Then they attacked what little cropland we had. They infested the road up to Dry Peak. That is why the gate was closed to you when you arrived. The rogues haven't seriously threatened us yet. All they killed was crops and serviles, yet it is getting worse. What steps have you taken to find the source of the rogues? Shaper Zachary put me and my men in charge of watching the village. His personal warriors are the ones who have been hunting. I have fought a few defensive actions, but I have only rarely left the village. This has bothered me sometimes, I confess, but Zachary is very strict about it. Uh-huh. What have his warriors found? I am not told. They keep them in the dark. Anything I can do to help? Zachary has kept me pinned up in this village. I can help him gather information, though. There's one thing that would be useful. Supposedly, there is a cave west of here filled with crystal formations. Quite lovely and potentially valuable. However, we never bothered with the place due to natural magic. None of us have been out there for years. Recently, scouts have found large reptilian tracks around it. I think it might be a good place for rogues to hide out. If you explore the cave and find if there are potential foes in there, report back to me. That could be a great help, Shaper. Why can't you mine the crystals? Ambient natural magic. It calls shades to the cave. They float around. Sometimes they threaten our miners. The crystals there aren't worth the risk, to us anyway. So, we were already cautious about messing with the crystals, but this sort of like indicates to you, yeah, you mess with the crystals, the shades are gonna get you. Did you report your suspicions to Shaper Zachary? No, only his guards. They didn't listen to my suspicions. Forces are in short supply, and it's just tracks after all. What would you do if I found rogues there? Tell the Shaper or his warriors. Perhaps they would act. All I want is to protect Dry Peak from the rogues. The efforts of our leader have achieved little. Alright, another question. How long have you been here? A long time, years and years. Almost as long as the colony has existed. I was about to leave when Zachary and Barzal arrived. They were going to rejuvenate the colony. Alright, tell me more about Zachary and Barzal. There were two Shapers. They arrived with about 20 apprentices and warriors. Well, that's not a huge entourage. They claimed they were going to make this colony survive and flourish. As you can see, they have not yet succeeded. Zachary is still around. Barzal died about a year ago. Alright, so what happened to Barzal? Zachary and Barzal frequently left town. They went northwest. They said it was to do research to make experimental creations a safe distance from town. They did this many times. Then one time, Zachary came back alone. He said that Barzal had died. An experiment went wrong, and that was the end of the experiments. Okay, so they've been going out to the northwest regularly, and then one time Barzal stayed and Zachary came back. Either a disagreement, or Zachary's covering for Barzal doing something else out there. Okay, I have another question. We need to find Shipper Barzal. What do you know of him? That he's dead? That is what Zachary said. The two of them often left to the west to do experiments. They were trying to figure out a way to shape life which would thrive here and help the colony work. Then an experiment killed Barzal. Zachary came back and told us so. Did you ever see the body? Nope, Zachary told us it was eaten. Very trusting. Okay. I explored the crystal cavern. There's a drake back there. Interesting. Thank you, Shaper. I will pass this information to Zachary's guards. In return, since you are an apprentice, I will teach you some of what I have learned about fighting in my decades here. I think it will be useful. A book in energy manipulation for greater efficiency in combat was left for us by the Shapers. It is hidden in the storeroom downstairs. Okay, so he's gonna... Do you plan to seek out Wix yourself? Shaper Zachary's orders were clear. I am to stay in here. Rogues are Shaper business. Happily, based on what you told me, I might be able to get Zachary's warriors to act. Drakes can be extremely dangerous, and we need to learn when one has settled near us. He seems harmless. Perhaps it can be spared. Even though drakes are forbidden by Shaper law? Your words are surprisingly merciful, Shaper. I will remember them. Oops. I require supplies. What can you spare? Very tightly town. You're able to convince Takena to spare a pod for your efforts. Will refresh your essence you have used to cast spells. A bit more effort, you're also able to convince him to give you some thorns. Your leadership skills are coming in handy. Okay, so I think that's all we're going to get out of him. Got some experience, and now we can go downstairs, and the door should be open for us. There we go. Okay. This chamber contains an old, heavily used spell book. Shapers don't write a lot of spell books. They gave permission for several of them to be placed in Dry Peak. Then the unfortunates assigned here can learn the skills they need to operate the settlement. Using your mental training, you read the book very quickly, absorbing the instruction with it. You learn a new form of weapon shaping, guarded lunge. When you've used this ability and attack with a sword, baton, or javelin, the attack will do more damage, shield you, and make the target vulnerable. I think so. We already had that, so that should improve our guarded lunge ability. Nothing on the ground down here. Alright, well, that was handy. And we also have the quest to turn in that we saved the Serviles to Keeper Thasila. I found your Serviles and rescued them. Yes, they found their way back to me. Thank you. They were very upset, but I managed to calm them down. I would like to pay you back somehow for your help. How about this? One of my Serviles found an old shaping manual in the trash outside the research warrens. I have been meaning to return it, but it is interesting. You can find the book in my chambers upstairs. I must return it to Shaper Zachary soon. You're not supposed to be reading that. Okay, so we get some experience. And now we come in this room. Lots of books lying around. This chamber contains an old, heavily used textbook. Shapers don't write a lot of textbooks. They gave permission for several of them to be placed in Dry Peak. Then the unfortunates assigned here can learn the skills they need to operate the settlement. Using your mental training, you read the book very quickly, absorbing the instructions within. It's about creation and care of Thads. Perhaps useful to defend a remote colony, though nobody is making use of the knowledge. Your skill making Thads increases. Okay. But, oh right, we leveled up, so we've got some skill points. But our battle shaping is 0, so we actually, I don't think, can make a Thad right now. And I'm not going to spend any skill points on it at this time. What are we going to spend skill points on? We need more mechanics, that's for sure. Essence Mastery. Increases spell energy and all spell effects. Missile weapon damage. And evasion. Spellcraft to all spells. After spells cast restores 3% point of the energy and essence cost. Okay. So we're definitely taking spellcraft because we're a magic caster. I think we're going one more on mechanics because we like to sneak through doors. I've noticed too, so in our combat skills, our melee, our missile weapons is at 3, and our melee weapons is at 1. So we should really be using our thorn batons potentially, but we're using our spells for range damage. But for using these what is it called? Weapon shaping abilities, we should probably be using our missile weapons for a higher chance to hit. More powerful missile weapons. Alright. Evasion. Okay, so that only lets you evade single target attacks. Alright. That's going to be our level up for now. 2 into mechanics, 1 into spellcraft. And we're learning new abilities every day. We need to keep an eye out for more ladders, steps, and what's it called? Some metal to sell you. We're gonna sell our junk. Alright. Yep. Anything else? Airshot crystals. I think that's it for now. Alright. Let's double check our quest. Fetch iron bars, Sharon's book. Alright, we need to learn more about languages. Search guarded tunnel. And find a purpose for his install. Alright. And we're still trying to clean out these mines up here. But now we've leveled up, turned in another quest. Oh, there's our party. And learned quite a bit about Barzal and Zachary. There you are. Let's get. We made it safe in here. Settlement. Could use your help. There's no real danger here. Please show me around. Alright, Zora looks surprised and nervous. She thinks fast. Oh, sorry, Shaper. I've heard lots of rogues and give her a stern look. The outsider's fear of Shapers works to your advantage. She caves in. Yes, Shaper. Zachary sent me instructions. I'm sure I can be very helpful to you. I'm normally supposed to be in this mine, though. I'll have to come back here when you depart. Alright, so I think if we leave the town, she'll come back. But for now, she's in our party. She has 112 health. She's level 4 and has 1 endurance, 1 magical skill, 1 agility, and 1 strength. But she has a very useful ability of Cleaving Blade, Charge, and Battle Roar. It gives us Haste, Blessed, and Shielded. Cleaving Blade if she's surrounded. So useful melee, totally loyal. As opposed to our Abandoned Sad, it's 3 strength, 2 agility, 2 magical skill, and 3 endurance. Also totally loyal. Stunning Bash. 20% chance for days. And this is for stun. Okay. And can we just crack the door? We'll go ahead and pick the lock. Pick the lock. Oh, iron bars. More iron bars. And more iron bars and crystals. Alright. Something else I feel like we missed. Did we read this book? Okay, 1 page with a complicated sketch on it, some sort of schematic. Okay, so what's different about one thing that's different about this in the original game is when you read that book in the original game, it shows you a like hand-drawn map of the mine, which lets you see, like, oh, the servant mine is just around the corner, and such is, this is here, that is there. Gives you a decent little read on everything. So we left some locked doors. Here's one up here. We're gonna pick the lock. Oh, well, hello. What are we gonna do? Guarded lunge. Let's try out that guarded lunge. We missed, but we did get shielded. Alright, try and stun him. And try and stab him. Alright. Nasty bit of business. Hiding. How did he get in there? It's like the raptors from Jurassic Park. Opening doors. Clever little guy. Clever girl. Alright, right. And we want to keep an eye out for more ladders and what's it called? And cellars. Just in case. You never know. I mean, mine. Alright, pick the lock here. We more scales and breaker. Okay. We did I forgot what I was saying. That's right. So we've used up quite a bit of our living tools now. Probably want to go. Oh, there, we missed something on the ground here. Fine mine crystal. Alright. See, it's so easy to miss some of these. That's why you gotta use that little handy tab ability. How close are we to the next level? We're only a little bit of ways along. And we're running low on... living tools. Alright, and we will explore the western mines next time. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.